Hello, nurse. Gosh, I am feeling very grateful to be alive. Welcome to a live stream in my messy real life. It seems like must be something making my camera a little fuzzy. I'm going to see if I can find something to fix that with, as unorthodox as that may be. I fell down on my snowboard yesterday. One of those quick moments. I actually fell last week too, for the first time in a while, but not nearly as severely. And then this week, yesterday, I had one of those sudden, severe, scary falls. I was just talking to my buddy who I had the fall with. And we managed to not quite impact, but our boards impacted, and it was my fault, but it doesn't really matter, that much. It's like accidents always are. It's like it's easy in hindsight to see what could have happened differently, but at the time, it happens the way it happens. There's split seconds things going on. And anyway, I woke up this morning just feeling so grateful for my body and to be alive and able to walk, able to smile. I'm wearing my back brace because I did like a whiplash in midair. I started to fall backwards and changed direction. I ended up falling forwards, and I compressed a disc we have an old injury, but overall managed to walk it off, walk out of there, drive home, and wake up this morning feeling grateful to be alive, grateful to be able to walk. It's a little hard to put my shoes and pants on, but I have dealt with worse, and I know it will heal. So all that in perspective of my current countdown to my 55th birthday, or 55th revolution around the sun. And one of the things I was thinking a lot about is, I think I mentioned yesterday how I was told when I was in my teens that I wouldn't probably live to be 50, and that I would have a life of a lot of suffering and illness, which is a shitty thing to tell a child, by the way, if you're a medical professional or a parent or anybody who works with kids. Careful what you say. That's terrible. But anyway, I'm sure there were good intentions behind it, because I was showing signs of what was at the time just being defined as autoimmune disorders. Now it's fairly common. At the time, I don't think nobody I knew had an autoimmune disorder. Now, of course, there were a few people with diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis and some of the other things that are actually autoimmune related, by our current understanding. But another thing I was told when I was about 19, because I'd been in a series of pretty traumatic accidents, including lots of trauma, horse falling accident, assault with a crowbar, and a few other things like sledding and things that had damaged my spine enough that I had a chiropractor tell me when I was 19 that I had the cervical spine, or the neck of a 50-year-old. And so now that I'm about to be 55, I wonder, maybe I have the neck of a 19-year-old. Makes sense to me in some twisted timeline. Anyway, yesterday when I fell, at first I didn't feel like I had the neck of a 19-year-old, or even right after. And yet when I woke up this morning feeling so grateful to be alive and so grateful for my body's capacity to heal, I took some ibuprofen, which I don't often take. Actually, up on the mountain, my friend had an emergency kit with some 20+ year expired ibuprofen, and I took 200 milligrams of that for the drive home, to kind of help stave off inflammation. And then I took 400 milligrams when I got home, and some vitamin C and some lysine. Drank some water and tea and went to bed early. And I woke up this morning feeling, yeah, just grateful to be alive and grateful not to be in severe pain. Like, I can definitely feel it, but I'm not in any searing pain. I'm fairly functional. I have a life that allows me to take it easy today, which I'm doing. And yeah, for all those things, super grateful. My friend was there who, and of course, it was my misjudgment of where he was going that led to the accident. But it was really nice to have him there. He took my snowboard off for me when I was laying face down, because I had just compressed my spine and couldn't quite move at first, and then carried my snowboard while we walked off the mountain. That I could have managed myself, but it was a lot nicer to have a friend there to talk to and feel supported by during that. And it really had me reflecting a lot on something I've already been reflecting on a lot, which is how I miss feeling cared for just in general in my life. I shouldn't have to feel like I got hurt in order to feel cared for. Now my buddy, my snowboarding buddy, actually does a great job of making me feel cared for even when I'm not hurt. And he's just that kind of guy is the thing. He actually stayed later to keep an eye on some kids that were sledding to make sure nobody drove around there. And he's the kind of guy that, will not just stop if he sees somebody broken down on the side of the road, but actually take the next exit, turn around, go back to check on somebody. And he frequently reminds me of that's the kind of human I think many of us would like to be, or I hope many of us would like to be. It's certainly the kind of human that I would like to see more of in the world. And as the saying goes, be the change which you would like to see. So I think, yeah, he models a way that I could try to be more of. And that said, at the same time, I am sort of grappling with being over sacrificial on some levels in my own life, especially as I approach 55 as a woman, seeing how I have sacrificed myself. And, I'm not trying to say it was not by my own choice. There's something about the role as the feminine roles as a mother, as a daughter, as a caretaker that lends itself to that sacrificial aspect that I think we all have to various degrees, or most of us maybe. Any case, there's my rambling for today as I count down. I might take the dogs out later, but I missed our morning walk because I'm taking it easy. And I guess, I mentioned having the freedom to take it easy as part of what I'm celebrating today. And it is something that I really understand, the tendency to live a life where we don't have that freedom. Our current culture doesn't really allow for that in an acceptable way. You can become disabled, which a lot of my friends at this stage have, even some of them much younger in life, and then live like this lower level, usually, but somewhat supported life. Or you can push through, what would be disabling as much as possible, which I continue to do, and get no fucking help at all. That's just a shitty story, isn't it? I just finished saying how I had some help yesterday from a friend. That was nice. And it's interesting how my brain has become habitually patterned to tell these shitty stories. And there's a lot of research that shows that is natural. There's a default mode to default to the what I call the shitty stories, the limiting beliefs, the what could go wrong, the what did go wrong. We tend to replay that more than the what could go right. And a big part of what I've been working on and I'm looking forward to continuing to work on is actively, deliberately focusing more on what could go right, focusing on the person that I want to be, the future that I want to create, and who I need to become to step into that person and that future. So that's what I'm about today. How about you? Care to share? I'd love to hear from you. If there's anything you feel inclined to share in reflecting the future that you're helping to co-create or would like to help co-create, the kind of person you would like to become or are becoming, maybe some reflections on what you need to do in order to become that person. I'm going to continue to get to bed earlier, let go of things easier, relax more. And I'll probably see you soon. Ciao for now.